So first thing to remove a vat film, like let's say you have these little punctures, like pieces of stuff in, and you want to change the vat film. You just take off these screws first. So we'll do that and then move to the next step. Just be careful not to strip them, because like you only get a set. So yeah, and you need all of them to keep the tightness. You cut this top if you want. You have some extra space on your vat film. So you take these pieces, they're both like decently clean, let's say. You got alcohol, whatever, clean them. And you put these together. Now, they're not so easy to pop in place. So like you have to kind of finesse it a little bit around. There it went in. You just want to press them as tightly as you can. Now it's not going to be like super flat because it doesn't hold. So this, once you just have this so it doesn't like misalign itself, that's when you take a needle or something pointy. Just got this from the X-Acto knife set. And punch holes. You only want to punch the 4 corners. So punch it, kind of move around the needle a little bit so you create like a decent hole for the screw. But again, only the first 4 corners for now. Because to tension this, you don't do all of them. You do the 4 corners, get those, and then the rest. So those 4. And you grab your screws. Do we have the screwdriver? That's over here. So now you don't have to record all of this, but you just put the screws back in place. And you don't want to tighten these screws all the way. Just like have them in. Again, this is just to hold it. You tighten everything at the end, so this will have tension. This excess that's sticking out, we'll take an X-Acto knife in a bit, or just a blade in general, and cut it. Just want to be careful with, your fingers and stuff. Now that the 4 are in, like again, kind of loose, then you just puncture the rest and put the screws in. So.
You should know.
Oops, you didn't see that? So now that these 4 are in, you just want to puncture the rest and put the screws in. Same as before. Yeah. Thing you want to do now that all the screws are in, but like loosely, press down on it. Make sure it's like pressed down, and then start at the 4 corners and tighten them. Again, just be careful. Like a little bit's fine, but try not to strip the screws. Okay, that's as far as it's gonna go. And like the opposite corner. So you'll see it's like sinking in more and more because it wasn't fully in. Not the screw, the top piece cover. I don't think I can go anymore with that without stripping it. And then again, just opposite. You never do like 1, 1, 1, 1. Like you don't do it like clockwise. Do opposite ones. Otherwise, you'll have to go back to the old ones. You'll start to see this is becoming more tight. By the time you finish all of them, you should be able to like kind of beat on this like a drum. It shouldn't be moving. Yeah, so now that it's all tight, you just want to be careful with the blade. Get like an X-Acto knife blade. And just run it across, and you'll see when you do that. Like, well, let me do it a bit more so it'll come out. You can see some of it start to peel off like this. So you just want to continue to run it like slowly, carefully. Make sure, like, don't be impatient. You're using a blade, and peel off sections of it like that. And remember, like, cut away from yourself, not towards yourself. Okay, so this is the bed. You want to make sure it's clean, so like clean it with alcohol and stuff. And then these screws on the side, before you put it back in to level it, you want to just loosen them Like, do not take them out, just make sure they're not tight. These 4 on the side, not the ones like facing the bed on the bottom. So now that that's loose, okay, maybe it needs to be a little looser, but yeah, I should be able to move like this. If you feel like a decent amount of resistance, you should loosen it a bit more. But basically, you want that like spring movement. So that's good. Would be better, but that's fine. And so now you just load it in. You tighten the top. So see, this is like movable. That's what you want. Cool. So this is the home screen. You'll see it when you open it. And I think it's in information. If you go to the information tab, you click on manager and you type the password. For us, it's 8877. It might take a little time, so just be patient. Go to 0 position and just click home. Normally there's a value here, so just click home. It'll re-zero it. And basically what you want to do is start adding to it. So you'll see I add 10, it goes down 10 millimeters. And the thing with that is, you, like, normally it'll show you a value. There it was 0 because I messed with it earlier. But for example, I remember the value was 158.7. So like never go like 160, like over your value, you know what I mean? Just get near it. So before it was 158 roughly, I'm gonna go to 150. Yeah, so just click that. Actually, there's nothing in here, so I can open this. Just continue to move down until it reaches 150. So I did make a mistake a little bit earlier. You don't tighten this. You want to make sure this knob is loose once this is on. And basically we have this at 150 now. What you want to do is grab it. This is loose. The screws on the side are loose. You should be able to move it, right? You don't want that movement. So I'm gonna go 155 because I remember it was at 158 before. Now I feel a little resistance. You can't see that in the camera, but yeah, a little bit more resistance, a little bit more resistance. And basically what I want is like kind of being gentle with it. I don't want to be able to move it. So there I'm feeling like a decent amount of resistance. I don't want to like I'm not trying to lift weights here. I'm not gonna force it out. But 5, 6. So here, it's kind of hard to move, right? So now what I'm gonna do, tighten it on the sides. You don't want to like press it too far into the bed. So yeah, just, and like these screws on the side, you don't want to over tighten them either. Just decently tight so it doesn't move. But like, you know, I'm using the long end of the Allen key and leveraging with the short end. Don't like do the opposite and get it super tight. So here. This is what I mean. They put Allen, these like hex screws on the sides here, but they didn't put them in the vat film. It's kind of ridiculous. Okay. Cool. You can raise it a little bit. You don't have to. It's just gonna be a little better. Like just tiny amount of microns. Cool. I'm gonna save that and reboot. If you don't reboot, it's not gonna do it. So it'll just restart the printer. If you don't reboot, it's not gonna save it.